Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to discuss a book called Fish. This book was released in the mid-90s and was about introducing fun into the workplace and in line with what we were reading last. This basically is a book that was utilized by many industries, many businesses to try to improve morale, boost morale. I've had videos on boosting morale before, but basically improved morale suggests improved results, right? And so I'll just read a little bit from the front leaf. It says, imagine a workplace where everyone chooses to bring energy, passion, and a positive attitude to enjoy the job every day. Imagine an environment where people are truly connected to their work, to their colleagues, and to their customers. And this basically goes through a parable of a manager and a story around that and what they did, and they also use some real life examples. So the book is called Fish. It's in a similar thought process to that book, Who Moved My Cheese, also the 1 Minute Manager. These are short reads to help leadership and help leadership teams better manage the outlook of the business. So here it talks about the benefits of fun at work. Interesting enough, these days, a lot of companies have fun on the walls as if it is part of their core values or core beliefs where they have integrity and all that stuff. They have fun up there with that. Because the truth of it is simply happy people treat others well. So if your teammates are happy at work, they're going to treat your customers better. They're going to treat their teammates better. And if you're in a position where it's a business where people walk in, that can have a huge impact on how the day turns out, right? In some of my businesses where we have customers who walk in business, open stores, retails, things like that, you want somebody that's engaging and happy to be there, and you want them to select teammates that are doing the same thing. Because someone that's on their phone, someone that's not paying attention, someone that's rude to a customer, that's how you get customers to leave. I'm not saying people that take abuse, obviously on YouTube and on some of the videos you've seen today, people are pretty disgusting and going to businesses showing their ass. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about acceptable, normal customers looking to find a great place to be a consumer of and engage teams that want to treat them well. So the benefits of fun is fun leads to happy people which treat others well. Fun leads to creativity. The time of the workday passes quickly. We've mentioned that in videos before. If you're really engaged in the work and you're having a good time there, the day is going to fly by and you're going to be more energized because you don't go home as tired because you felt energized and impassioned throughout the day. Having a good time is healthy, and having a good time at work is healthy, but also, like I just mentioned, it doesn't drain you. You don't feel like you don't have enough to give back. And then you're kinder to your family, right? And a kinder family, a happier family makes a happier community, etc. And that wave is just like a rock being thrown in a lake. It ripples, and that ripple effect will carry that on elsewhere and help those around you. So that's something worth thinking about. Implementing fun within the organization is important because it makes people remember why they got into it, right? Leaders sometimes with consistent initiatives get to the point where they're just exhausted of the constant tide, the constant waves of new things being landed on them. And so leadership sometimes can get worn out and forget why they were in what they do. Back when I was in healthcare, I had leaders that were fantastic professional healthcare providers. And they would get caught in the redundancy and the minutia of the tasks around leadership. You have to do it. Compliance and all these other items are necessary. But at the end of the day, these people are healthcare workers. And so sometimes when I would see that my leadership got to the point that they just have had enough, I would say, hey, go work your floor. Go take care of some patients. And so when those leaders would go out and take care of some patients for about an hour or two, they started having some fun, started having those conversations, remembered why they got into it in the first place, and then they could come back and engage in those other things in a more positive way because they remembered why they're happy, right? They remembered why they're there. So the other things around a stationary workplace or a workplace environment that you can handle upgrades, painting on the walls, bright places versus dark places. One of the locations I used to be over, every time I walked in, it felt like there was a sense of dread out there, and I didn't understand why. But the location right down the street was completely different. You walked in and you could feel, it felt like it was fresh air and you engaged. And so I started looking at the workplace environment, started inspecting that to see what was going on. And the place that was always happy, when you look up, there was this gigantic sunroof, right? There's this huge sunroof where there's always this light coming in and people are smiling because of all this light. The one across town was the opposite. It was just dark and dreary. So in there, you felt, even though all the light bulbs were, you'd thinking, lights out or the lights off? Why is it so? And it was just because the walls were dark where it was. It got a lot of shade, so not a lot of sunlight came through the windows, etc. So what we ended up doing was we ended up putting better lighting in that building that looked more natural. Took some of the shades off the windows in other places so more natural sunlight got in, and brightened up the walls. We painted the walls a brighter orange. This is Texas, so unfortunately burnt orange is a popular color out here. I did, however, paint it Clemson orange instead of burnt orange because, Clemson grad. So the orange was off for Texas, but it definitely made an impact on the floor, and the teammates and the customers there all liked it much better after that. So be aware of that. Make sure that the environment is interesting and able to support joy and support happiness and support in the way that it can. Add more life, plants, aquariums. That can have a huge impact. One of my businesses, we had a mortgage office that the external offices had windows, right? We're on the external wall, but inside the office, there were no external windows. So by putting a large aquarium in there and some plants and some lighting, it opened that up and made it feel a little fresher and less dreary. And then have special events from time to time. And do that with regularity. I had that on the schedule, and we call it creating a special place. In many places, they call it creating a special place, and they'll have CASP leaders and directors. And the idea is that once a month or with regularity, whatever that may be, you'd have some type of celebration over something. Now, I've seen companies have celebrations multiple times a week, and it gets to the point where people are like, this is just interruptions. It's not even something to sustain. So, make sure you're being specific and deliberate around that if you're going to increase fun to your situation like that. Lights and creativity and an area that's designed to assist and aid in that fun will be well respected and appreciated. So the book is called Fish. Take a look at it. I'll read this last excerpt from the book, and you kind of see what it's getting after. As you enter this place of work, please choose to make today great. This was on a wall at a workplace. Please choose to make today great. So ultimately, happiness is a choice. Your colleagues, customers, team members, and yourself will be thankful. Find ways to play and enjoy the environment. We can be serious about our work without being serious about ourselves. Stay focused in order to be present when your customers and team members need you most. And you should feel your energy. You should not feel that your energy is going to lapse, because this is a surefire remedy. Find someone who needs a helping hand, a word of support, or a good ear, and make their day. The book is called Fish. That's what it looks like. It will be the thumbnail. Take a look if you get a chance. The authors are Stephen Ludland, PhD, Harry Paul, and John Christian. Kid Blanchard wrote the foreword on this, and his book was one of the books that we went over just before this. So the book is Fish. Take a look. I'm Ben. If you enjoy the channel and what we put out there, please like and subscribe. Be good.